Yo. Alrighty, let's begin. Right, the new code first. Shouldn't take that long because it's a relatively simple effect. And then I'll work on other stuff like I did the last few times. Okay. Let's see. If you control an archetype, summon this card, handle graveyard, right? Yep. And banishment of the fields. This is close enough. Sure, we'll just take the banishment direction from somewhere else. It's fine. And the graveyard. And then these. We just need to change the archetype check, and everything else should be pretty much fine. Banish part here. Okay, we have Zubaba, Gaga, oops, Go, Dodo. You control Zubaba, Gaga, Gogo, or Dodo. Okay. Step your face up in your monster zone. Found the graveyard. Okay, so we just need the banish field is the field thing. So expert makes more sense for this. Yeah, at least it's the first one that comes to mind. Banish is the field. Okay. Okay. So that should be pretty much good to go. 4 moves per turn. Both, okay. Right, and then the other effect. Attempt to exit from your grid into the exit deck. From your to the exit deck, not into the exit deck. Maybe that one. Let's face up stuff. Return. Let's just see what this does. And it's not a really complicated thing anyway. We just write it myself. It's interesting that it has two different ignition effects in the graveyard. I feel like that's not very common. House pattern is different. No competition, that will need a cost. I think this doesn't need a space actually. This does a lot of extra stuff that we don't care about. So I'm only gonna copy the most relevant part. Okay, so we need up to 2 Xyz monsters. So they're in the graveyard. Any Xyz monsters, okay. Xyz is able to extra. Okay. And then on resolution, we choose up to 2. And if we pick any, we highlight them and then we put them in the deck. This small detail could exclude itself, although it's obviously not an Xyz, but whatever. Category, okay. Okay. Turn. Also interesting that it doesn't target, so you can like, the opponent can't use like EDOPro or whatever to disrupt it. Okay. Magician, special summon, and then we just need something in the extra, in the graveyard. Although I could just Xyz someone, I guess, here. Okay. This one is a build. Okay. Now I want to see if you can do both effects. Is the prompt gonna be okay, or is it gonna be a little? Maybe the description's too long. I don't remember what I wrote. Sense and. Okay, this one is a little long. I'll probably change it to make it a little nicer. So we can choose to either spell summon or return. Okay. Let's try Dark Hole as well. Okay. The only thing left is a small thing we gotta do because he has too many archetypes. Topic. He has to do it as well because he's an Onomat, but also due to the condition it has another 4 archetypes. But unfortunately, due to how the database system works, you can only have up to 4 archetypes on a card. So the way this does it, it has this function that adds it like manually in the script. It's not very nice, but it's a limitation we have to deal with. So yeah, I have Onomatokage already in the database, and I'm gonna add Zubaba this way. And yeah, the card is finished. Should be at least. Strings, okay. Do. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna add the card after I'm done with the stream. And then we're gonna continue by going back to the puzzle stuff that I was working on the other day. So there were some that I had some ideas for. For example, this one. The overlay doesn't trigger even move. So the problem, she says, if a card leaves the extra deck, triggers and does whatever, right? So if you use an effect that attaches directly from the extra deck, it should trigger, but it doesn't trigger. So that's the main problem, essentially. Now, judging by the title of the puzzle, and from what I remember, I boiled it down to the event move is not raised when with dual overlay. So the thing we're going to do is very simple. I'm just gonna try overriding dual overlay and making it raise the event and see what happens. That's pretty much it. So I guess I'll write it in here just for simplicity. Okay. So obviously, not obviously, but this does something different, or was an attempt to do something different. Instead, we're just gonna raise the event. So now I don't remember. Let me see. Does it actually return anything? Like, I'm not sure if it has a possibility of failing, I think. Okay, it says documentation says it returns nil, so should be good. I mean, probably any kind of checks that happen and stuff happened beforehand, so it's probably okay. Let me look at raise event. Okay, just want the parameters. I got group, code, RA, R, RP, EP, EV. Okay, so I'm assuming so Z is probably gonna be the cards that were moved. Yeah, so this checks EZ previous location next to deck. Okay. So the Xyz materials are the moved cards. Code is event move. Reason effect. I guess we might have to go with get reason effect or the new function. Reason. The problem here is we don't have a lot of information. So if it's if overlay is used for a regular Xyz summon, it's the reason is game mechanics essentially. But if it's due to this card, for example, then it's a reason of effect. I guess we could check if we're currently resolving. That's a way to gain some information. Resume player, maybe get resume player again, the new function. Event player, there shouldn't be an event player, I guess. Value, there shouldn't be an event value. Okay, so if deal is chain solving, let's see, dual get, I think they're called get reason effect and get reason player. Oh, it's not in documentation because they're too recent. Well, we'll try them, but I'm pretty sure that's the name. Okay, so again, this. That's what I'm thinking currently, and if we are resolving a chain, it means there is an activated effect, I guess. That's the idea. Okay, and then we raise with array, RRP, and then 0 for the last two because not used. Okay, let's see. Nothing happened. Well, first of all, let's see, was this executed? Maybe raising? I don't think so though. I was gonna say maybe raising non-custom events doesn't work, but I don't think there's a problem. Well, okay, that does get executed, so let's see if the condition does as well. Okay, he executed for the banish from the graveyard. Okay, it did. Is there any... Not just any face-up monster. So what, does this return false somehow? Okay. How does that make sense though? Because it's in the extra deck literally. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let me just move this. So it's a little easier to operate on it. Okay. Okay, what does EG contain? Like, is the group incorrect maybe? Okay, that's the banish stuff. Seems fine. One card. Mirror Jade. Location extra. Oh, I see. There might be a problem. Okay, so maybe because location overlay isn't really a thing, it gets moved. It does become an excess material, but its current location and is not changed, so there's no previous location. Maybe. Maybe. Because it says right now is location extra, which obviously it's not location extra. If I do get previous location, is it gonna be like nil or 0? Yeah. Okay. How do we fix this still? Oh wait, I'm dumb. Wait, I'm raising the event before actually attaching, so hold on. Attach first, then raise, and then return. There we go, okay. Okay. Boom, trigger. What does she do? Make a monster control gain attack, negate effects. Okay. Now one small thing we maybe should address is the materials, although, I mean, it doesn't care about it, but so if sent to grave is true and you're attaching excess monster with materials, the materials of that excess monster will go to the graveyard. That's gonna work fine with event move. If sent to grave is false, the excess materials are gonna all be attached together with the excess monster, in which case they will be moved to not just this, because it's the excess materials of the excess materials. So if sent to if center grave is false, we need to get any exit materials that these cards have and add them to the group, I suppose. To the group that we're going to raise the event with, right? Now this also could be either a card or a group, so we need to also account for that. Do we have a way to do this instead of looping through the exit monsters? Let me check. Overlay group. Doesn't seem like that's a thing, so we'll just have to loop through. Actually, do this, and then we add EG. Okay. Okay, so EG is always exceeds mats, status as that, and then if center grave is false, it's a card. We also add the overlay the exit materials of that card to EG. Otherwise, if it's a group, we go through every card in this group and we add all of their exit materials to EG, and then we use EG in the event raise. That's the idea. Obviously, there's no exit materials here. I just want to see if it works. The debug can go. Let's see. If I so this passes a group, so let's change this to pass a card instead. Make sure it works. Okay. And then I want to attach stuff that has material on it, so it'll be easier to make a new puzzle for that. So, I guess we're going to rank up, because we should also test overlay by game mechanics, so 39. So we have one with material, one without material. And then we're gonna get C39. Yeah. And another what it is. Okay, let's see. Now obviously this is gonna trigger when I summon this guy. This gets a little more complicated the more I think about it. Because, okay, let's say I put EDOPro on top of this in the same zone. This didn't move, right? Or did it move? Who the fuck knows? I guess technically, okay, physically it's in the same spot, but I mean, it left, quote unquote, left the monster zone, and now it's next to material, so maybe it did move. That's the for the overlay, and that would be for the summon. Rather, I should do fast CG and see how many cards there are in it. There should be one here and one, and it should be 2 and 1. Okay, I mean, this seems fine. Let's try by effect as well now. Trying to think of an effect that attaches and then also takes the materials. Because we have something like 101, which does not take the materials. Type another number because you control that's this card. Okay, so this kind of works. Material on it, and then we just need a number. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so if I do this, okay, only one was moved. If I do this, 2 were moved. Okay. Seems fine, I suppose. Let's see. I suppose it's okay. Probably. Can't think of anything else. So for now I'll say it's okay. Let me save it. And we'll discuss it with the other people in the team too and see what they think. See if I missed anything. Okay. I'm gonna keep the puzzle until it gets actually, merged properly, the fix. Okay, the other one I have some ideas about is the September one. So what is the problem here? If a behemoth you control is flip face up, what's casting your grade, because pass someone's card. Nice and simple. So if you flip it, they both together at the same time, you choose the chain, the order. Boom boom. All good. The problem is if it gets attacked and it's flipped by battle, for example, like so. So if it's flipped before damage calculation, then immediately damage to warrior triggers. And the flip effect activates after damage calculation. That's how the rules say they work. Now the other thing they will say is for warrior is that if the behemoth is flipped for battle, warrior should also activate after damage calculation. So they should both activate at the same time again, even though it's the damage step. Even in the damage step, they should activate at the same time, and you form the chain link as expected, just like when he was flipped in the main phase. So that's the problem itself. This is we don't need this. Okay. So it's this. You're getting the damage step as well. Event flip. So probably how the way this works is that it just sees that okay, it was flipped, and immediately the event is raised, as you would expect, rather than it happening in a delayed manner after the calculation. So my idea was we're gonna use some kind of custom event here. So it's gonna be a continuous, so to speak, event flip effect. It's gonna be detecting flips, and then if it detects a flip outside the damage step, just proceed as normal. Or maybe actually it's not that, it's not outside the damage step. We need to check if it was flipped for battle. That's the thing. So if it was flipped because of the battle, then that one should be back now. Okay, so I was saying, I'm thinking of maybe splitting it into two effects, one that goes off when it's for battle and when it's not for battle, right? Now, the first thing we need to do this is we need to figure out if we can figure out that it's being flipped for battle. So I'm thinking maybe the reason or the reason player is relevant, or event player or something has some information that we could use. So let's start by debugging these. Okay, event player. Event value probably doesn't have anything useful. Array might be useful to see if it's by an effect or not. Reason and reason player. Okay, so if I just flip summon it, everything is 0 or nil, so there's no reason effect. Now I don't know if reason is 0 as well. Okay, reason player is 0. Now I'm not sure if that's because I'm player 0 or because it has no value essentially. Let's give this to the opponent as well. So if I flip this, okay, so event player is 1, so the player that did the flip summon. Reason effect is still nil, reason is 0, reason player is again event player. Okay, so that seems like useful information. That's when we flip summon. What happens with the battle though? So we attack into it. We have EP 0, reason 0, reason player is 2, which is player none. So like this means okay, it was flipped by mechanics pretty much. So that might be the one thing we could use. If reason player is 2, then it was flipped for battle, perhaps. What happens if I attack on the opponent's one? Okay, 0 nil 0 2 again. And let's see. I need an effect. Go to you. Okay, so what does it say if I flip it with Book of Talia? Okay, so EP is 0, reason is 0, which doesn't make much sense. It should be effect probably. Reason player is 0, but now there is a reason effect. Okay. If I flip the opponents, again 0 0 0 here. If I give this to the opponent as well. Checking for reason player 2 is probably the best bet right now. So if I do this, okay, the reason player changes to whoever actually used the effect, which makes sense. Everything else seems the same. Yeah, okay. So probably our best bet is the using the reason player. So here's the basic idea. If reason player is not 2, which is player none, then just do activate normally. And then we're gonna have a second separate effect that says if that only activates if the reason player is 2, but then Well, it needs to activate at a later point, so that one might need a custom event, perhaps. Or maybe we could use after damage calculation with a flag, perhaps. I guess it needs to be okay. That would make sense, maybe. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, it probably doesn't need to be a custom event. So, but it will need a non-activate effect to keep track, right? So let's start by making this. Start by making this not activate upon flipping the battle. It works here now. Okay, so that's the first step. Then we need the tracking effect. Which is going to be failed continues, event flip location grave, and here in the condition we'll check that a behemoth was flipped and is for the battle. Actually, we need all of these. So A is player none, and if it does, then we put a flag on this card. Maybe. Yeah, we put a flag, we set phase damage, that would make sense. Let's start flag effect. Let me just check parameters. Okay, we have a card, code ID, reset, property, reset count, label description. We don't need those, they're optional anyway. Okay. Okay, so the reset is gonna be reset event, reset standard. So if it moves from the graveyard, and then reset phase damage. So at the end of the damage step, it stops, property is gonna be 0, and count 1, okay. And then we have a copy of E2, with the difference being that the code is going to be after damage calculation, so battled, and then the condition is going to be the flag. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I forgot anything. So regular flip summon, only the first version triggers. Flip summon by effect, only the first version should trigger again. Okay, only one version. And then if we attack, okay, maybe we got something. And then we change this. Alright, that seems good. Now let's see if it's sort of battle. Things should still be the same, yeah. Okay. And then there's this pesky little guy. For damage calculation, its character activate must destroy a monster in triggers. So if it's flip face up, then it triggers to destroy, and then I don't know if in this case it should trigger or not. I'm thinking, I don't know, because I'm not sure. If damage calculation happens, maybe it should, but then it doesn't happen. Presumably, I don't know if we have a ruling for this. In any case, it's like such an edge case scenario. It's not super important. The more important part is, you know, just attacking normally. And that seems to work. Checking there's no player capsule here. And let's test. Well, with reset phase. Reset phase damage, it should be fine. So it didn't trigger now. Test mode, so I can control it. If I attack this and don't activate it. No. Well, it triggers, of course. Okay, I mean, it seems fine. It's pretty simple fix if that's the way to do it. And then these cards also need the same. If Flame Monster, you can draw a Sweet Face up, even during the damage step, you can target one of them, blah blah blah, and it has the same ruling as Nemesis Warrior. Like these are the only cards I found with such an effect that triggers when another monster is Flip Face up, and it can also trigger in the down step. But yeah, they would also need the same fix, but yeah. Let me polish this up a little bit. So I guess this will be E2, E2A, and then E4 will be E2B, maybe. And then 3 will be E2C, I guess. Now it would be nice if we didn't have to do this script side, but I'm not sure how realistic it is to to do this core side. I mean, maybe possible, like if it's a filled trigger with event flip, and the reason for the flip is the battle, then don't prompt this until after down calculation. Maybe that's doable. I'm not too familiar with the core to say whether it is or not. That's more like Edo's job, but yeah. We'll see what he says. And the point here is you can chain block your behemoth with Nemesis Warrior. That's the main play. Or you could chain block your Nemesis Warrior with the behemoth. It depends on what you want to do. But yeah. Okay, so that one is also it should be good now. No, I didn't change anything else in the script, but how long have I been going for? It's about an hour and something. It's a bit of a shorter one, but I guess it didn't take too long to fix the stuff. Now I still need to fix the other cards as well. I might do this later off stream. So I'm gonna keep the puzzle for now again, like the previous one, but okay. Right, so I'm gonna go. And yeah, I need to add the card as well. I'm gonna add Onomatokage. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Take care. Bye bye.